Aloha and welcome to Tapping into Love. Our class today is on transforming the habit of perfectionism and overdoing, overworking, and overgiving. So I'm so happy that you have joined us today. Most of you by recording, and that's great that you're taking the time to come here and to maybe learn a new skill, or perhaps you're already acquainted with tapping. We're gonna have fun today, and what I'd like to do is just set some logistics for the class. It's a good idea to have some more water handy, because whenever we're tapping, the water helps us to move energy. And it's also good to have a pen and paper in case you want to write down any notes. And I'll be asking you some questions that you might want to write down or think about. So what I'd like to do first, I like to set the stage and just bring us together by doing a little grounding and centering. So I invite you to perhaps put your hands over your heart and close your eyes and feel your feet on the ground, connecting and just allowing your spine to elongate, feeling the pull going upwards to the sky and the opposite pull going downward into the earth. Welcome in your breath. Our breath is our companion in life. So just taking a few deep breaths, letting go of the busyness of the day, all that's happened before, and all that might happen afterwards. Just giving yourself the opportunity, the moment to pause. And see if you can find right now the place or space within your being that you might call center, whether it's the belly button, the middle of your body, or your third eye. Perhaps you want to imagine yourself like a tree, putting its roots into the ground, or imagining yourself that you're plugging into Source right now, to Mother Earth, to the God of your understanding, that you can just consciously right now plug into this beautiful power that's greater than our little selves. And in this place and space of connection, let's welcome in any of our personal guides, teachers, angels, animal spirit friends into our circle today for the highest healing, for safety, for wisdom, for love, for peace, for support, for blessings and transformation. And just taking another few deep breaths. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Great. So the topic, as I have said, is about transforming this toxic habit of perfectionism, overdoing, overworking, and overgiving. And perhaps one of those qualities or habits speaks to you. So what I want to invite you to do in this class is to tune in to what is most truthful for you and what it is that you want to transform. I'd like to begin with a reading about perfectionism. And this comes from this book, Reform Your Inner Mean Girl, by Amy Ehlers and Christine Arylo. And so in this book, there's 13 different archetypes, which we call the inner mean girls, 13 different types of archetypes. And one of the archetypes, inner mean girls, is called the perfectionist. So I thought I would read just the qualities of her and see if what you want to do is just listen to this and see if you can relate to this archetype. So the perfectionist. This highly critical and often harsh, picky, or sharp inner mean girl is like the most judgmental parent you could ever imagine. Her job is to wag her finger at you, to blame you, and run around your life, house, relationships, body, and career, pointing out everything you're doing wrong that could be done better, or that doesn't measure up to her ridiculously high perfectionist standards, which you never meet. Who could? For her, nothing you do is enough unless it's perfect, which of course nothing can be. So nothing is ever quite enough, including you. Having a party? She'll have you cleaning the house for hours beforehand and then walking around all night, putting things in order instead of just enjoying yourself. She is, and so you become, obsessive, working overtime and worrying about details no one else ever notices or even cares about. And if she can't find something to criticize you for, she'll drive you to pick on and criticize others. So just take a moment and reflect on that. Take that in, and perhaps it resonates with you, perhaps it doesn't. And just to highlight, there are two particular weapons that the perfectionist uses. And one of them is called the mighty magnifying glass of perfection. And this, she has the power to zoom in on everything you are not, making you feel like you failed. She asked, if you're asked to bring cupcakes to your kids' school, but you bought them instead of baking, she's there shaming you, saying you should have been able to make those cupcakes yourself. You're a bad mother. Someone offers you a compliment for your effort or result, and she will deflect the love and respond by noting what you could have done better. So this is the mighty magnifying glass of perfection. So just notice if you carry around that in your toolbox, whether that's something that comes out. And the other is the ridiculous expectation setter. So this inner mean girl expects you to know everything right now, even if you're just a beginner. She gives you no space to learn or to improve. She will make you feel inferior because you haven't mastered the skill. She'll also keep you so focused on making things perfect that you procrastinate on getting your ideas, projects, and dreams into the world because they aren't perfect yet. So you and your work stay stuck. So just reflect for a moment and just ask yourself, do I carry around this mighty magnifying glass of perfection? Where do I carry it around? And maybe you carry it around in certain areas of your life, but not in others. So just noticing where the magnifying glass comes up. And then the other is the ridiculous expectation setter. Are you holding yourself to some unrealistic standard? And is it keeping you from doing new things because you're not there yet? So I just wanted to offer that as a beginning place. And the other three areas that we're looking at is this idea of over. And this actually comes up a lot during the holidays, but it's related to perfectionism, whether we're overworking. So do you find yourself kind of obsessed with working, whether it's cleaning or working in your job or finding, just details that you just you're doing more than you need to. Or perhaps you're just overdoing it. And this can come up in many different ways, and often we feel it in our body when we're overdoing it. And the last one is overgiving, which can come up for many of us as mothers, but also in relationship, that we get into this mode of giving, and then our tank, our fuel is empty, and there's nothing left for ourselves. So the first question right now is really just to reflect on these. Where is perfectionism, overworking, overdoing, or overgiving showing up in your life? So just take a moment and reflect, and maybe you just want to write a few notes on that, where it is showing up in your life. And as you're doing that, so what I'm doing now, and as I do in all of my tapping classes, is I teach this, what I call the ABCs of tapping. And so what we are doing together right now is the A, we're acknowledging the problem. And the questions that I'm asking are going to help you become more aware of what is up for you around this issue. And we're going to be assessing it so that we know where you are before you do the tapping. So that's what we're doing right now. So you're just checking in to see where perfectionism, overworking, overdoing, and overgiving is showing up in your life. And next, as you have now identified, where you feel like it's coming up, I want you to notice, what is it costing you? How does this limit you? How does this affect you? How does it affect others by your having this toxic habit? And knowing our toxic habits are generally things that we are stored in our unconscious. They become habitual. So anyway, just noticing, what is the cost? Is it creating an imbalance for you? Definitely overgiving, overworking. You may feel tired, exhausted, So there may be some kind of imbalance going on. You may be getting tired. It takes a lot of energy to try to be perfect. And so you might feel the effects of that. And so you just want to notice, where do you feel the effects? What part of your body? What feels tired? That's part of the cost, is the tiredness and the exhaustion, but also just noticing where in your body are you storing this tension and this overdoing, overworking, overgiving, and perfectionism. And what other costs? Is it keeping you in your head? Is it making you feel crazy? Or perhaps you actually get sick. So just maybe writing down what your particular effects, responses are to this toxic habit. And then you're going to ask yourself, well, what are my fears related to this? It could be a fear of failing, could be a fear of success, could be a fear of being seen or heard. So just checking in and asking yourself, asking your inner wisdom, what am I afraid of? And see if you get an answer. And you can write that down. All right, so what we've done so far is we're just kind of tuning into the issue, and we're calling it procrastination, overdoing, overworking, and overgiving. That's a mouthful. And you've identified where it's coming up in your life and what the cost is, how it's affecting you, where you're noticing it in your body. And in general, we kind of like to give our problems and issues kind of a number, like how big is this as you're tuning into it right now? How big is this issue for you? And so you can just use the scale from 0 to 10. 10 is, yeah, it's really big for me. 0, it's not big at all. So you just want to write down your number and record that so we know where you are energetically before we do the tapping. And what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to show you where the points are to remind you of that. We'll have a tapping chart available for you that you can look at afterwards. But right now it's really just monkey see, monkey do. I'm just going to go through the points so you can know where they are, and then we're going to begin the tapping so you can have an experience. So the first place that we tap with is called the karate chop. It's between the wrist knuckle and the pinky knuckle on the side of the hand. It's called the karate chop because if you were to chop some wood, it would be right there. So you can either take both karate chops towards each other like that, or just on the side of your hand like this, tapping there. And then we're going to take our peace fingers and we're just going to go through the points. I'm just going to show them to you before we begin. So you just start on the inside of your eyebrows here. We're surrounding the third eye and tap lightly there. You can tap with me. Then you're going to go on the outside of the eye. You're about 1 inch from the crease of your eye, right on the bone. That's perfect. Then you'll go under the eye, right on the bone, and you're directly under the pupil. And you'll take one set of peace fingers, put it above the upper lip in the crevice there, and the other set of peace fingers will go below, under the lip and under the lip in the crevice there. We call it the chin point. So you can do that at the same time. And it's a good idea to breathe deeply in between the points while you're tapping. We're going to go next to the collarbone. You can use both hands right here, just tapping lightly. The actual point is where your collarbone is here. You go down an inch and out an inch. And there's these indentations here that we call K27 in massage. And so you're just going to tap lightly like that. We're just moving down the body, and then you're going to go to under the arm, and you're about 4 inches down under your arm. That's good. And sometimes I do the rib point, which is right below the breast here on the ribs, just showing you that point. I think we'll skip that for this round, but just wanted to show you where it is. And then bringing the wrists together, and then ending on the top of the head. Okay, so those are the points, and as some of you know, it doesn't really matter what order you do it in. We do it in that order because it's easy to remember. So it's important for you to take care of yourself and to listen to your body, listen to what feels right. Perhaps today you just want to tap right here, and that's fine. Or if you'd like to follow along with me, that would be great. So you just can decide, you know, at what points you want to do it. And so again, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing on this toxic habit. And we're going to do several rounds just specifically focusing on it. And the way that I think about this is that we are clearing and cleaning the negative energy, what's been stored in our system. So like I've taught, maybe you've heard this before, the B in my ABCs is that we are blessing and we are balancing the body. And we do that each time we start on the karate chop, because we wrap our problem with love and acceptance. And that helps the body to receive the energy and get set up so that it can clear and clean. So the C in the ABCs is actually that we're cleaning and clearing this. So your job as a tapper right now is to just notice what you notice, to be very aware, and to just tune in to what's going on. So let's begin, and it's call and response. So I'm going to state something out loud, and then you at home are going to respond out loud. And so let's begin. Even though I have this toxic habit of perfectionism, overworking, overdoing, or overgiving, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've got this issue, this toxic habit, and it's been here for a long time, I'm accepting all that's coming up about it right now. So even though this toxic habit of perfectionism, overworking, overdoing, and overgiving is real for me, I do love and accept all parts of me. And take a couple breaths and just allow that into your body. And we're going to tap through the point. I've been overdoing it again. It's a lot easier for me to give than to receive. I overwork. I'm just afraid I'm not enough. All this fear and scarcity programming. I won't or don't have enough. I'm going to be seen as a fraud. I'm afraid of criticism. I just need to be in control. I'm afraid to feel. I'm avoiding something. It's worthless if it's not perfect. I should have figured this out by now. What's wrong with me? I'm just not doing this right. It'll never be perfect. So I should just forget about it. I can't share this or put this out into the world until it's perfect. I am nitpicky. I am compulsive. I am obsessive. I can be uncompassionate. My perfectionist is really good at pointing out everything that isn't perfect. She points out what is not in order. I find faults easily in me and others. I can see what is out of harmony and balance. This toxic habit, it takes a lot of energy to be this way. All this over. All this perfectionism. I don't want to stay stuck here. It's costing me a lot. This toxic habit is not serving me anymore. Okay, so now take a few deep breaths and just allow that into your body. And I want you to just notice what you notice. See what's coming up from that round of tapping. And sometimes when we focus on an issue, it can get magnified, it can get bigger, and that's fine. Sometimes it stays the same, and sometimes you feel a little bit of a release. So you just want to notice where you are. And you can reassess your number too. Did it go up, stay the same, or go down? You might want to drink a little bit of water. And we'll do another round. So on the side of your hand. So even though I'm stuck in this toxic habit, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I've been using these weapons to beat myself up, I'm doing my best to tap into love. So even though I have the mighty glass of perfection and this ridiculous expectation setter, I'm open to transforming this and having a new perspective. So even though I'm stuck in this thought patterns, in this habitual modes, it's okay, because I'm doing my best to love and accept all parts of me. This toxic habit, it's perfectionism. It's been here from a long time. I remember when it started in school with my classmates, at home. I feel the effects of this. I feel imbalanced. I feel exhausted and tired. It's making me sick. Sometimes I feel crazy. I can feel this in my body. All the tension I'm storing. All this overdoing. I'm paying the price. I'm out of balance. So again, just take a few deep breaths and take that into your body. And I'd like to invite you to put your hands on your heart right now. And just to take a few deep breaths. And just knowing right now that this is only a part of yourself, this inner mean girl. And that at any moment in time, we have the ability to tune into our inner wisdom. And so right now, I invite you to just take a pause and to actually do that, to actually call upon your inner wisdom. And a good way to do that is just to close your eyes and actually feel your breath coming up from your feet, going up your body into your heart. Also going down from your head, like you're going down an elevator ride, just consciously leaving the head and all of its judgments and criticisms, going down into the heart. Find yourself just arriving and greeting and meeting your inner wisdom. And maybe asking her, what is the truth about this? What is it you really desire? And see if there's anything that comes up. And you can write down if there was a message that you received. What we are doing now is doing a super power pause called the pause of compassion. And what compassion is, as Christina Rilo defines in her book, is that, well, actually, we're all pretty trained at compassion for others, to have compassion and care and love for others, but not so much for ourselves. So what self-compassion is the choice to open up your heart and offer yourself kindness, gentleness, forgiveness, understanding, and patience whenever you need it, without a cause or condition. So we have that ability at any moment in time to step out away from that critical perfectionist and to step into our inner wisdom and to self-compassion. So I'd like to read to you, this is from Kristen Neff, who's the author of Self-Compassion, The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself. And she has researched and proven about the effects of self-compassion. She accurately states, instead of merciless judging and criticizing yourself for various inadequacies or shortcomings, self-compassion means you are kind and understanding when confronted with personal failings. After all, whoever said you were supposed to be perfect? You may try to change in ways that allow you to be more healthy and happy, but this is done because you care about yourself, not because you are worthless or unacceptable as you are. Perhaps most importantly, having compassion for yourself means that you honor and accept your humanness. So again, just taking that into your heart, taking in these words of wisdom. And what we're actually doing is we are just taking a conscious pause to tune in, to tap into love, to tap into compassion. And there's always a gift. There's always a gift that is inside. And so as you're just tuning into this self-compassion, and maybe you're becoming aware for the first time the impact of the perfectionist, you know that you have the ability to transform anything that you're aware of. So this is the time that we are going to consciously transform this toxic habit, this pattern. It's kind of like we have a whiteboard with graffiti on it, and we've just kind of put on it all the yuckiness, all the negative effects of our perfectionism and our overworking and overdoing and overgiving. And so it's a very black board, and what we've done with our 2-3 rounds of tapping is we have erased the writing on the walls there, so that now we're in a place of openness. And what we want to do is replace it. We want to replace it with some new habits. Compassion, self-compassion is one of those new habits. Tapping into love is another one of those compassionate habits. And I want to offer, this is something that I am learning, that it's okay to make mistakes. And as my perfectionist, that's one of my fears, is that I've been afraid to make mistakes. And yet that's how we learn and grow. And that, the child who is learning to walk doesn't beat herself up for falling down. And all the great inventors who had to do things over and over and over, they didn't stop because they didn't get where they want. It's the mistakes that really help us grow. So what I'd like to do now is to take us through another round of tapping. And this time we're going to be adding in some new components, some new skills, because we're at the point of transforming this toxic habit. So let's begin. So even though I've been trapped by this habit and I haven't known how to change it, I'm open to the possibility that with compassion and forgiveness, I can transform these habits. So even though I've been stuck in this cycle of perfectionism and overgiving, overworking, and overdoing, I'm open to the possibility that I can shift this now. So even though I've been stuck and afraid to make mistakes, I'm open to shifting, to tapping into love, to tapping into forgiveness and self-compassion right now. So taking a deep breath, allowing that into your body, we're going to tap through the points. It's okay for me to be diligent. I can be detailed. I can be orderly. I want to be harmonious. And all these traits are good traits, and I can choose them. I can stand for excellence. And when I say yes, I mean it. When I say no, I mean it. It's okay for me to make mistakes. Oops, I made a mistake. I can embrace the imperfections. Mistakes help me to grow. I can be truthful to myself. I have done so much today. I can acknowledge what I have done. Look at how far you've come. You can chill now. I'm going to do the best I can. And it's enough. I'm doing the best I can. I'm learning, and that's okay. It's okay for me to go as fast as the slowest part of me can go. I'm going to say that again so you can repeat it. It's okay for me to go as fast as the slowest part of me can go. I don't have to be perfect. I am doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. It's time for me to celebrate. I can be kind to me. I am enough. I'm choosing self-compassion. I'm choosing to tap into love now. I'm choosing to forgive myself. And take a couple deep breaths and just allow that into your body. And again, just notice how that feels. How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? And you're just kind of reassessing where you are. So I'd like to invite us to kind of mark this transformation, this commitment that you've made to yourself. What we've done is we have erased some of the gunk of the toxic habit, of the perfectionism, the overdoing, the overworking, and the overgiving. Now we've replaced it with new choices, with new skills. And we've taken that old toxic magnifying glass and the expectation, unrealistic expectation, uh, to a new place. So what I'd like you to do is to take a vow for self-compassion now, and to give up this self-bullying. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're just going to tap through the points, and you can just follow me. I give up being hard on myself. I promise to be gentle with myself. I give up bullying myself. I promise to be nice to myself. I give up talking negatively to myself. I promise to be kind to myself. I give up putting pressure on myself. I promise to be patient with myself. I give up judging myself. I promise to be understanding to myself. I promise to be compassionate with myself. I promise to love myself. I'm choosing to tap into love. So take a few deep breaths and just allow that into your body. I hope you enjoyed this class, Tapping into Love. We will be doing other classes. Our next class will be on comparison, the toxic habit of comparison. So that'll be our next one. What I'd like to do right now is just to end our class is I'm going to play a song for you, and it's by one of my one of my favorite singers. I mean, she sings, her name is Karen Drucker, and her song is called I Don't Have to Be Perfect. So I invite you to listen to this song. You're welcome to get into the energy exercise of the hookup, where you cross your feet, one ankle over the other. Can't really see that, but you're crossing one ankle over the other. Put your hands out in front and then clasp your hands and then get into this position. And it's a nice way for us to end. So you can just take in this song and listen to it, and then we'll end together. So here it is. I don't have to be perfect. It started in third grade. The teacher said, let's sing and have some fun. So I let it rip, I let it wail, and she said, Karen, why don't you just hum? So for many years I squished my voice, thinking I was wrong. Till then one day I learned the truth, and now I sing this song that says, I don't have to be perfect, I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. I don't have to be perfect, I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. Now I'm standing in front of the mirror, obsessing about my belly fat, my thighs, my butt, wrinkles round my eyes. Well, who can live with judgment like that? The media tells me daily I should be young, tall, tan, and fat. But the truth is, when I accept myself, that's when I win. I say, I don't have to be perfect, I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. I don't have to be perfect, I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. Perfection's an illusion, I won't give my power away. I can lighten up, let it go, know that I'm okay. Now I'm older and I'm wiser.
loser. I don't really care what people say. If someone thinks I'm not perfect, well, I just bless them on their way. Life's too short to be judgmental. Take a break, have a good time. If you're struggling with this issue, then raise your voice with mine. Raise your voice with mine.
Come on, everybody, sing with me. I'm doing the best I can.
I give myself permission to be just who I am.
I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can.
I
Give myself permission to be just who I am.
sing it. I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I
Give myself permission to be just who I am.
every day I say I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I
Give myself permission to be just who I am.
I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself
Permission to be just who I am.
I don't have to be no way. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am.
All right. Well, thank you for singing and joining me. It was a pleasure to tap with you today. And you can go to findthestarwithin.com. That's findthestarwithin.com. And I've got lots more tapping videos. And I hope you'll join me on the next Tapping into Love, where we'll be tackling that toxic habit of comparison. So thank you so much for joining me. And I wish you an awesome day and happy tapping to you. Lots of love. Aloha.